Again, we want to say thank you for joining us for another edition of our monthly meeting. We'll please advise everyone to mute yourself to avoid any interruptions during the meeting. We are very excited as we come together again to share vital information that will be beneficial to our families. And we want to also use this opportunity to say Happy Black History Month to those of us that share or identify with that race. We say Happy Black History Month. So please, quick information. As always, if you want to listen to this meeting in Spanish, you have the option of clicking on that little ball on your screen, like a world. So just click on it and it will give you that option of listening to this session in Spanish rather than English.
Bueno, entonces si desean escuchar la sesión en español, pueden... Are you able to hear me, Mrs. Buki?
I do, but I am not supposed to hear you. Let me just...
Exactly, yeah. That's why I haven't started yet.
Let me do that. Let's fix that.
Un momento para que puedan escuchar la sesión en español.
Please give us a minute. Sorry.
Un momento, lo sentimos.
Miss Itzel, can you still hear me? Okay. I assume the channel is fixed right now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen in a moment. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? All right. So again, saying Happy Black History Month. And we decided to include this quote just to the left. This is a national truth. America will not be America without the wealth from Black labor, without Black striving, Black ingenuity, Black resistance. So we continue to celebrate ourselves as much as we can. As always, we are Language Assistance Program in the District of Wayne Township, and we are hosting this meeting. We host this meeting every month just to provide the opportunity for all our multilingual families, especially to be able to have the necessary information they need as when due. Some of these have been advertised before, we've been mentioned. Please make sure you sign in your name and listen to the meeting in Spanish if you want. Be reminded that at the end of the meeting, which will be at the second session, because we have this meeting right now, and later on at 5:30, there will be another session to provide opportunity for the people that are working right now. You can visit our LAP Parent YouTube channel at your convenience, and you will be able to view all our past recordings and also this one. But please give us a couple of days to be able to upload this particular one that we'll be doing today on the channel. But you will be able to view every other ones that we have done in the past. Also, you can access this from the parent square, from which you access the information about the meeting. We're going to upload all the recordings and the slides. Agenda is pretty simple but packed. We have two special guest presenters today. We have our guest from Welcome Basket, and they are the one that are going to be giving out the gift, because we announced before now that the first 25 families, parents or caregivers that joined this meeting today, the first 25 will receive a special gift courtesy of Welcome Basket Incorporated. So they're going to be giving out some baskets, and this is their way of supporting our immigrant and refugee families. You will hear more from them during their presentation. We also have Attorney Magdalena Josipovic. She was once with us in the past or during one of our meetings. And today she's just going to be giving us some information and tips and resources, sharing some resources with us about knowing your right as individuals, as families, especially at this moment in our country. We're also going to share some important reminder. And of course, we encourage everyone to please visit our Wayne Equity YouTube channel to be able to see all the videos that have been recorded for the Black History Month. And as usual, we have tons of resources to share with everyone today. So please sit back and enjoy the session of the meeting. And right now, I'm going to invite Miss Melanie to please share some very important data with us. Over to you.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Just giving you a little brief district data for today. Right now, currently, Wayne has 6,680 students that speak another language. We have 4,805 English learners, and that's from levels 1 through 4.9. 96 represented countries. Our top 5 are US, Nigeria, Honduras, Haiti, and Mexico, and 81 spoken languages. Our top 5 are Spanish, Yoruba, Haitian Creole, Creole, Tigrinya, and 30% of our language learners make up Wayne's total enrollment.
Thank you. Does anybody have any question about that? The fantastic data from our district. We keep growing and growing every day. You can see those, we have 81 spoken languages and 96. We are almost hitting 100, 96 represented countries. And we can see our numbers for our English learners. We keep growing every day. All right. If there are no questions, we will go ahead.
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, you do have a question. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm Asian parent, so I listen. So the meeting is translated for Spanish or English. So they mentioned an Haitian Creole. The meeting is not translated for Haitian Creole.
Thank you so much for that question. So we do the meeting we hold this meeting in English and Spanish just because you could see our data. So we went by the data that we have in our district, because you could see that. Let me go back to that. And you can see
So
that
I'm fine with
our
that. I'm fine with that.
okay.
So
Okay.
so that was me that I can understand English, but I know, I think, but there are a lot of parents in Chicago listen to the meeting. So I'm trying to know so they understand the meeting too.
Thank you. We'll continue to work on that. And we are working from our end to continue to support our families. And I'm sure, maybe in future or very soon, we'll be working on that to be able to provide resources for other, for our Asian Creole, maybe since they are coming up in numbers in our district, and we'll be able to support them to do the same that we provide for our Spanish speakers. So, but right now we only have English and Spanish. And of course, please feel free. We can, if anybody have questions, we have other resources, maybe not particularly during this meeting, but of course we have resources that we use to support other our families that speak other languages if they have specific question and they reach out to us. I hope that's kind of help with the question a little bit. I know that might not be satisfactory enough for you, but you know, we keep trying.
Okay, thank you. It's okay.
Thank you. So at this time, we want to listen to our guest, one of our guest presenters. We have Ms. Winnie Gongoshemi and Ms. Leslie Makela from Welcome Basket Incorporated. They're going to be presenting to us today, sharing their resources with us. Over to you, ma'am. Do you want me to share or you're going to share from your end?
Hi, we can share from our end, Buki. So
Awesome.
I'll just go
Okay.
ahead and set up the slides and Winnie will begin. So just
Okay.
one moment.
I will stop share from my end so you can share.
Okay, and I'm just going to turn that into slideshow. There we go. So
everybody
are you
see it?
seeing that slide deck now, Buki?
Well, let's see. I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah, I think yes. Yeah, I can see it
Excellent.
now. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll hand over to Winnie to get us started.
Yes, I can start now. I have a little issue about my computer.
Okay, can you see the slides, Winnie?
Yes.
Okay, if you'd like to go ahead and start and introduce yourself, and then I'll pick up from there. Oh, I wonder if did we just lose Winnie?
I guess maybe you wanna
I'll
just
go
go
ahead then. Oh, okay, let me get started then. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting us to be part of your group today. We're delighted to join you. In a moment, hopefully Winnie, who is the executive director of Welcome Baskets, will be able to join us and tell you a little bit about herself. She will tell you, but she's actually originally from Congo and came over as a refugee herself back in 2010 with 3 small children. So she's a wonderful success story of somebody who's managed to make a new life here in the greater Indianapolis area. Let me introduce myself. I am Leslie McKellar. I am president of the board of Welcome Baskets. And I joined the board when it was forming in 2022. Our organization, Welcome Baskets, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a minute, has been around since 2019. Winnie and her team, her family, her friends did some great work during COVID, but the board formed in 2022. We now have 9 members on our board. It includes 4 of the members of the board are former refugees themselves. I myself am an immigrant. I was born in Zimbabwe, just north of South Africa. I lived in a number of countries, including Canada, South Africa, and England before coming to America. Gosh, it's almost over 30 years ago. So I now consider Indianapolis in America my home. I was very inspired by Winnie's story of wanting to help others who have followed the same refugee journey as herself. And that's why I became involved with the board in 2022. Let me tell you a little bit more about Welcome Baskets. And I'll begin with what is our ultimate goal, our vision for Welcome Baskets. We all on the board are striving to make Indianapolis an area where all migrants to the greater Indianapolis area feel welcomed, and that they get support and help from friendship, community, ourselves. We recognize it's a big shock to transition to a new country. We know you've had challenges even getting to this country, but we also know it's very challenging once you get here to start a new life. And our goal is to help you with that as best we can, and to also ultimately help you become independent and self-sufficient so that you can feel settled and happy in your new home. So that's the ultimate goal of our organization. What do? We actually reach out to newly arrived migrants to Indianapolis. We build relationships, and we help to fill in gaps in the services you may or may not be getting access to, and connect you to others in your situation and to resources in the Indianapolis community that can help you. We are a very small organization. The term we often use is grassroots. But we, through Winnie's wonderful network of connections with people around the city, while we can't always do everything to help you, we know people who can. We know who all the organizations are in Indianapolis that work in this space to help refugees and migrants get settled in Indianapolis. So we hope to, at least if we cannot help you, connect you to other people who can. And one of the main things we do is we provide welcome baskets. That's the first program we offer people. And what is this all about? Welcome baskets, actually, if I go back to the first slide, let me just do that. They look like this. These are laundry baskets full of cleaning supplies and personal hygiene items. So typically it's things like Clorox wipes, paper towels, things to clean your bathroom and your kitchen, and then personal hygiene items like shampoo and conditioner and soap and toothpaste and toothbrushes. And why did we decide on these things? It's because based on what Winnie and other refugees have told us, when it comes to support when you first arrive in Indianapolis, we know that there are many agencies who will provide you with help with housing and covering utilities and food. There are a lot of food banks out there that can help you with food. But we learned that some of the things you don't always get help with are these things: cleaning supplies and personal hygiene items. And while newly arrived people are still trying to get their work permits and learning English, it's hard to start working. And these are the items that are very important and necessary, but can sometimes be not things you can afford, can almost be like luxury items. So we tried to help fill in that gap by providing our welcome baskets. And in 2024, last year, we provided over 300 welcome baskets to families here in the greater Indianapolis area. We provided them to families from a range of countries, but just to give you an idea, in terms of African countries, it was Congo, Tanzania, Nigeria, Sudan, and many more. In terms of Middle Eastern countries, probably not surprising, many were from Afghanistan and Syria. In terms of Asia, Some of you may know we have a lot of refugees here in Indianapolis from Burma, or Myanmar as it's now called. And then from Latin America, we were serving people from Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Haiti, of course, and Venezuela, including other countries. But those were some of the biggest countries we were serving. So we use these welcome baskets to build a relationship of trust and to help people when they first arrive. In addition to that, in 2024, we provided over 100 Thanksgiving meals. We did this in partnership with another group run by the Indian community, Siwa, the local chapter. In December, we distributed over 250 toys to migrant children with the help of a Toys for Tots and a local law firm that practices in immigration law. We also, over the course of the year, delivered many diapers. We know that's a huge need, clothing and household goods based on donations we got from various organizations. And then one of the highlights of last year, it was a new thing, a relatively new thing for us, was we organized a college visit to the Indianapolis campus of Indiana University for 28 refugee students. In fact, that is how we met Bukola. She was one of the chaperones and brought some students with her. And that was our opportunity to introduce some of our refugee students to the possibility of what college education might look like, to show them what a university campus looks like, to introduce them to people at the university who could talk about financial aid and scholarships that are available. And the feedback from that visit was very positive. The vast majority of students told us that it really helped them think about what their plans might be after high school, and I think gave them the thought that, wow, I hadn't realized this was something I could do, that maybe I don't start working immediately, I pursue a college education. So it's just offering options and helping make people aware of resources. Is Winnie back with us yet?
I'm sorry, what is that noise?
Buki, I don't see Winnie on the list here. Is that right?
I don't think she's here. So
Okay, so I'll keep going.
Yeah.
So those are some of the activities we were involved in last year. One of the biggest ones, and why we're here today, is we had our first partnership with a school. And it's kind of funny how this came about. We were at a local coffee shop that was doing a fundraiser for her, and we ended up talking with a school teacher from Circle City Preparatory School. It's over on the east side in Lawrence County, Lawrence Township, I should say. And we became aware that they have, like yourselves, a very high refugee population in their school. And many of those families are struggling to make ends meet, to be able to afford everything. And so we ended up attending an event at that school last fall, where we were able to share welcome baskets with a number of families and make them aware of our organization. And that ended up being very well received. And so in talking with Bukola, we found out that maybe we could do a similar program with you this year. So that's why we're here today, is we realize that although we typically will reach out to refugees in various apartment complexes where they currently live, another great way to connect with newly arrived refugee families is through the school systems. And so that's why we've been in discussions with Buki and why we are here today. Our ultimate goal, though, in providing welcome baskets and letting you know also that we exist and we can connect you to information and resources is so that you, and particularly your children who are attending school, are able to feel comfortable and positive about their own situation. If they know that they have the right personal hygiene items to be, clean and happy and healthy to attend school, that should help them learn better and in their school environment, and hopefully help them settle better into their new home. So that's kind of the goal of our school partnership, and why we would love to connect with you, in addition to then make you also as parents aware of some of the other resources that are out there. We have good relationships with some of the refugee resettlement agencies like Exodus, Catholic Charities. We're closely aligned with the Immigration Welcome Center, and we know other smaller organizations that cater to specific refugee communities like the Haitian Association, the Afghan community, etc. So, so bottom line is we are here to support and help you as you see fit. And I see Winnie is now back.
Yeah.
Hi,
Thank you, Leslie.
Hi, I did my best
thought-
to cover some of these items, but now that you're back, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Yes,
Sorry,
this
before
is Winnie.
Sorry, Winnie, before you go ahead, Leslie, thank you so much for that information shared. We are very appreciative of that. I guess you actually covered the entire slide. So maybe Winnie really doesn't necessarily have to go through everything again. She can introduce herself just because of our time. We want to be respectful of everyone's time. So Winnie, you are welcome to introduce yourself so that we can listen to the other guest presenter we have today. Welcome, Winnie. Thank you. Just introduce yourself to us.
Okay, sorry for this situation. Yes, Winnie is the founder of Welcome Basket. Myself, I came like the group. We welcome the refugees and immigrants here in Indiana by give them welcome baskets. Leslie already talk about us. One is to appreciate this opportunity to the school. Myself, I know what is going on to the family for refugees and immigrants. It's why we return back to serve the community by give them the cleaning supply for bathroom and kitchen, also deodorant, shampoo. Yes, you will find it in the basket. I can stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Winnie. That's really, really, really appreciated. Thank you for the support you are providing for the community. And thank you for joining us today. We will sure see you the other session later on at 5:30.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Buki. We appreciate the
You are welcome.
opportunity.
You're welcome. So if you can stop share so our next guest presenter can go ahead and share as well. So at this time, we want to welcome the attorney, Magdalena, to give us a presentation as well. Please welcome Attorney Magdalena Josipovic from Magdalena Josipovic Law Firm, LLC. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here. Are you able to show my slides?
Okay, let me do that.
Thank you. And thank you everybody for having me today. I have attended one of your sessions some months ago. So I am attorney Magdalena Josipovic. I am a licensed attorney here in Indiana, and I have an office in Carmel. My area of practice is focused on immigration, U.S. immigration law. I am also myself a former immigrant, so I have went through process of immigrating many years ago. And it's lovely to be here and share some information with you now that I am attorney myself, and I can give some advice to people when they need that assistance. So what I'm sharing today is really not intended to be a legal advice. It's just some sharing of information that you may find useful. The presentation, or what I'm going to share today, is very brief. It's really just focused more on current information, such as like know your rights, and as we have new administration, there are some new executive orders that have been put out that are pertaining to immigration. And so it is, so these are some of the ones that I was just going to mention. You might, yourself have heard a lot of things in the news or read it on social media. It is always very good to verify your sources where you're reading information, because there's just a lot of information, and you do want to, receive good information, because information can be sometimes shared that might also not be correct. So it's just it's a good practice to know your source, where you're getting where you're reading things. So so as we've have a new president as of last month, there have been executive orders that have been published. So some of those deal with expedited removal, the interior enforcement of immigration law, fundings, as well as birthright citizenship, the border, the security at the border, where how the people were processed, the ones that would in the past have come to seek an asylum, and like the CBP1 app is no longer used, and as there's been declaration of national emergency at the U.S. border and proclamation of suspending entry. So as of now, the asylum, that it's kind of the entry to U.S. for people that would want to seek asylum, is my understanding, is suspended. And so there's just a lot of information. I guess one of the ones that, and I want to clarify, it's the asylum in U.S. is still available to individuals, but we're talking about the border, what's happening at the border for people that are maybe wanting to come in and ask for an asylum. As far as, I also wanted to share like an expedited removal. I don't know if some people have heard that in the news. Expedited removal is something that would, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Expedited removal is something that is a process where somebody may have been, is put in removal, instead of being put in removal proceedings to see a judge, they would actually be in their claim, or they would be actually, if they're here without a status, then they would be put in a process that would not allow them to actually see the judge. So they would be removed, could be removed in an expedited manner unless they have expressed a fear of returning, and then they would have been allowed to proceed with their claim. So previously, that was only expedited removal was used within 100 miles of U.S. border. Now that actually has extended to interior of the United States. So if a person cannot, if they're undocumented and they are faced with being stopped by ICE, and they cannot show that they have not been here for more than 2 years, and they're not admissible, meaning they do not have a status here in U.S., then they could be subject to expedited removal. So I'm going to share, we can go to the next slide, please. I also wanted to share recent, for some individuals that maybe, the TPS is a temporary protected status. Recently, there's been a recent termination of 2023 designation, which is set to expire April 7th of 2025. And here I believe I may have a typo with the date. So that does not apply to TPS designation of 2021, and that one remains in effect until September 10 of 2025. So moving to the next slide. I'm just going to go here a little bit. This is really was the purpose of this sharing of the information, is that share some information about, knowing your rights as you as individuals are, just to know, like, all the people in US, regardless of their status, have certain US constitutional rights. And so if you have a right, so if the ICE was to show up at your home, and when I say ICE, that means immigration, custom, and immigration custom patrol. They would not have a right to enter your home unless they have a valid search warrant that is signed by a judge. So if somebody was to come there and they would try to come into your home, then you don't have to open the door or let them in unless they have that warrant. And so you would want to ask them to show you that warrant by sliding it under the door or showing it, under the window of your home where you're still inside. And, you would want to verify that indeed that warrant was signed by a judge and it does have your name and it has your correct address. You also have a right to be remain silent. You do not have to provide information as to where you're from or where you're born, as to what your immigration status is. There are some Know Your Rights cards that are called red cards that people could, slide it under the door if they choose to remain silent. And you do have a right to speak to a lawyer if you're detained or taken into a custody. So those are like the few things I wanted to mention. So you can also speak, request a right to speak to, your consulate, to contact them, and you have the right to speak to your lawyer. Next slide. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. This one is just some information about what to do if one is detained. How would you know where that person is? So there is importance of knowing individual's alien number, a number that is the one that would that individual would be able to, it's a 9-digit number that is identifying number for immigration. So you would want to make sure if it's somebody that has been detained that you are trying to find out, you would want to find out from them what that number is. And then you would try to look that online through the Immigration and Custom Enforcement detainee locator system, which if you go to the website, there is a link, and then you would actually type that in. It's a system that one can search. If a person is, if you know where the person is located, they can also contact the detention facility and find out to schedule a call or a visit. Gathering information or any that would be helpful. And you can find out when your next that person's hearing may be by going to the EOR's the court's website. That if you have that alien number, you can also see when their hearing may be, and of course finding legal help. Some things that one can do to protect yourself or loved one is to, if you have legal questions, is to seek a legal counsel and find an attorney that can provide legal consultation and address your specific legal needs in a confidentiality. Create a safety plan for your family. Identifying some emergency contacts, memorizing phone numbers, providing, making some plan for if there's an emergency, and if you have children who can pick up the children or make some decisions, medical, legal decisions. Keeping your documents, important documents in safe place where they are organized and where they are, also avoiding immigration fraud. So being mindful of seeking advice from individuals that are licensed attorneys or board accredited representatives, the individuals that are licensed to give legal advice, and being alert of digital scams, like if there are things that are out there that people are posting things and promising things, and it is important to know when you're actually meeting with an attorney or talking to an attorney versus somebody that you've never actually met and you're communicating through online and do not really know them. So I think in interest of time, that's all I had. I think it's at 15 minutes.
Thank you so much, Attorney. Does anybody have questions, like general questions? We have already listened to our presenter that the best thing you can do is to actually seek for legal counsel if you have specific questions that are not general questions. Before the end of this presentation, this meeting, we will also share some other resources that may be useful to you regarding this topic. So we just want to say thank you for your time, for sharing all this information with us. They are very important, and we want to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't know. Let me see if we have some questions that may be coming up in the chat. I don't see any question right now, but we have the attorney's contact in case you would want to talk to her later on privately. You're welcome to do that. You can see her, or you can call, or contact her later on. And other resources in town. What if you don't have a legal counsel? Okay. If you do not have a legal counsel, you can seek out. We're going to share some resources. And of course, like she said, she is an attorney. If you think you want to talk to her, it's totally your call. We cannot tell you who to talk to, but we know there are attorneys out there that you can always reach out to. We're still going to share with you some other resources before the end of this meeting that you can also, bodies, community partners, organizations that you can reach out to for legal counsel. Somebody is asking how you can get the red cards that we're talking about. Please reach out to your school, the administrators in your school, or you speak to your teachers. They will be able to direct you to the appropriate person, or the way on how to get your red cards. Okay, let us keep going and finish with our, I'm gonna share my real quick. Okay. So we want you all to know or to remind you, because we know from time to time we mention some of this information because we know they are very important to our parents and caregivers. Accurate Skyward information ensures timely communication. It is very important for all our parents and caregivers to take a moment to review their addresses, their phone number, and email in the Skyward. It is very important. Otherwise, you might be missing out on information that you should know. If you need to make a change, inform your school, talk to your teacher, talk to the administration in your school. Because if you have the up-to-date information, it will be able to enable you to not miss out on any communications coming from the school or from the district. I've included a link here. This is a link we have shared in the past. I will just quickly click on that. So this is just walking you through, is giving you a step-by-step walkthrough on how you can download that app in case you do not have it yet, and how to just navigate through getting them on your devices and doing the necessary thing, to get yourself updated. We also want you to please take note of this important date. Next week, Monday, February 19, there will be no school. That's President's Day. And Friday, February 28th, the WIDA assessment window ends. Next month, Thursday, March 13, is our monthly meeting like this one. Of course, we'll let you know beforehand. We'll give you a heads up and the necessary information. And of course, from Monday, March 24th to Friday, April 1st, that's our spring break. There will be no school. So please take note of that. Let's see. Okay. We also want to remind you all at this time of inclement weather, the weather is so unpredictable. You are welcome to call the Indiana 211 to find warming centers if you need one. So that resource is available to everyone. Please make use of that resource if you need them. This is tax filing season. The season opened on January 27th and the due date is April 15. So within that window, you can file your taxes. Please be reminded that every citizen, every working adult is expected to file taxes every year. So if you are filing for an extension by April 15, so if you are not able to meet up with filing your taxes within this window from January 27 to April 15, you will be provided an automatic extension until October 15. But it is strongly encouraged to make sure you pay attention to those dates. And some advice, we have put down some advices for you all. One of those is helpful. It is helpful to create an account on the IRS website. So that will help you against identity theft, okay? And you want to also make sure that when you are looking for someone to help you prepare your taxes, be sure you are speaking to someone that is qualified. You want to make sure you are speaking to the right people, not people that will swindle you or they want to just take unnecessary advantage. And when some of those heads up is when someone is telling you that it will help you to file taxes that you will get the most, telling you get a lot of money. You want to really ask questions and make sure you are getting the right info. And we have put together some free tax preparation services, some vital sites. We have listed some of them. Their websites are listed, and you can please later on after the meetings, you can go ahead and check out those websites, and they might be helpful for you. As we mentioned last month, so our giant marketplace pantry box that we do every month here at our district, which holds at our Ben Davis Night Grade Center, you need to complete a form before you can participate in that event. In the past, people, we just make the announcement and people can do a walk-in to Night Grade Center and be able to pick boxes of items, food items, but just to provide more organization and to make people more organized, and we are making sure we are trying to reach as many people that we can. We have provided that resource. You have to just fill out a form, and it's first come, first serve. There will be an immunization clinic on February 20 at one of our elementary buildings, Stoutfield Elementary. The address is listed, 3820 West Bradbury Avenue. If you want to participate in that event, please visit the link has been listed again. Click on that link for your registration, and then you'll be able to input the enrollment code. The code is listed as well. Walk-ins are welcome, but we must have parent or guardian consent if the child is under the age of 18. So we have put together some resources. Some of them are summer resources that will be helpful to you for our senior parents and caregivers. Please don't forget the Wayne Township Education Foundation Scholarship is still on until Friday, March 7th. Please apply. You never know, your students might be the lucky one to get that scholarship. And of course, we have also included some other resources that may be useful to your students during summer. Please contact Ms. Cross. The email is listed if you want more information. So the attorney talked about some information. She has shared a very good information about how one can help himself or herself during this time. So we have also put together some resources for some of our undocumented individuals in case of immigration-related emergency. There's a program coming up. So this is the flyer from the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. Remember, the attorney mentioned that it's strongly advised you consult a legal individual, a legal professional for your immigration-related matters. So Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic is a very formidable resource that we normally share with our families. They have these events coming up. Consult with a lawyer. Please feel free to take part. All the information that you need to know is listed on that flyer. The number to call to schedule an appointment, or you can to scan this QR code for you to make that appointment. We have also listed, the attorney mentioned this as well, the things that you can do to protect yourself. She has mentioned it. The one thing I want to emphasize is the notarial fraud. It's called notarial fraud. So we have some people out there, they are notaries. So notaries are not lawyers, okay? We need to be very, very, you be very careful with that. So if somebody is presenting himself or herself to you, that he or she is a notary and is presenting himself as a legal person, that might be a scam. So you want to be very careful of scams all around, because we know in the multitude of all the things that we are rolling out that are going on, in our community right now, So in the middle of that, some people, there are always bad people everywhere. So some people might just want to take unnecessary advantage to scam people. Please beware. This is another event, Community Resource Day. That will be on Sunday, this Sunday, February 16. It's immigrant. They have different resources that will be shared with people, and the location is listed. The address is listed on East 38th Street. You're welcome to participate in that event if it's useful to you. So somebody asked about the Know Your Right cards the other time. We have announced that please reach out to your teachers, to reach out to your school. They will be able to give you those cards. And please, may we also let us know the cards are not something for you to, it is not something to serve as, how do I explain it? It is nothing to protect you from being stopped or from, from the law enforcement still holding, a conversation with you. The one thing about the red card is just stating all that you need to know, in case you find yourself in such a situation. So it's just letting you to know that you have a right to be silent, you have a right not to speak, you have a right to say you want to talk to your attorney and all whatnot. So please just be mindful of that fact that the red card, you cannot just hand out the red card if you are stopped by ICE or anything. That does not work. So the Know Your Rights, as also we put a resource here in different languages, and I'll quickly click on that. So the Immigrant Justice Center, you can see the Know Your Rights for different languages and or different topics. If your loved one is detained, if you prepare for mass deportation, if you encounter ICE to avoid immigration for different Know Your Rights, you'll be able to find that on that website. And of course, we have other resources that we have provided. The COIN Coalition of our Immigrant Neighbors, Immigrant Welcome Center, their addresses are listed, Exodus Refugee, and this important information, we also want to let you all know that there is now an immigration court in Indianapolis. So the court was officially opened on 27th of January this year. The address is listed at the downtown Federal Building at the Pennsylvania Street. So please, this is a good one. Actually is a great relief, because we know before now people had to travel to Chicago or maybe other places for immigration related cases. So right now we have a court in Indianapolis, and the details to know are listed, the court hours and the phone numbers. So for all the resources we have shared today, we have also put everything together in a document, which I know is on that chat box. Please avail yourself with all that information. Some of this information were not mentioned verbally today, but we have them in this document. Please, if you click on that, it will take you to that page and you'll be able to view all that we have put together for you. We want to say thank you again for joining us today. We say thank you. Again, my name is Mrs. Bukola Akimbola, and my colleague, Miss Melanie Robinson. We want to say thank you for joining us from time to time, of course, from our department. We want to say thank you, and thank you. And we thank our guest presenters as well. We hope to see some people that were not able to make it this afternoon, later on in the evening at 5:30. Please feel free to join us. If you were the first part of the first 25 people to join this meeting today, make sure you write your name on the chat box like we announced before now, and your school, because you're going to get one of those welcome baskets from us, courtesy of Welcome Basket Incorporated. Thank you to you. So Thank you again and have a beautiful rest of your afternoon. As always, please reach out to us if you have questions, reach out to your school, reach out to your administrators, your teachers, and they will be able to guide you in case you want clarification of any information. Thank you and have a good one.